Oh, it's definitely an interesting offseason, as I think this year is the first time in a while that we're seeing, not that like it's obvious, but I feel like it's the first time in a while that we're blatantly seeing teams, or I guess it would be teams, like people try to line up moves to save money because they're not trying to be put in that in the tax. And to me, that it makes so much sense to want to, if you don't feel confident that you can win a championship in the next 2 years with your team, I would not try to build a a team. And I think this is something that the Nets are trying to decide with Mikal Bridges. So the report is Mikal Bridges. The Nets have zero interest in trading Mikal Bridges. They continue to perpetuate that report. We know that the Knicks are somebody that really want him. The Nets have expressed zero interest in trading Mikal Bridges, according to league sources who have been in contact with them. It's not like they haven't had the opportunity. Supposedly, teams have offered a horde of first rounders, and Mr. Brooklyn is just not engaging. And I think that's just such a mixed approach. I personally think you are becoming the Washington Wizards. You are buying yourself into a team that, unless Ben Simmons gets back to the next level, unless Noah Clowney is something that I didn't expect him to be. I think Noah Clowney is a really good player, but I think at best case scenario, he's a borderline all-star. Cam Johnson's softer than Sharman. He's a good, fourth or fifth option on a good team, but again, not a top three option. Cam Thomas, you need to trade him this offseason if you're not going to extend him or not going to commit to him. Trade him. He's a sixth man either way. Deron Sharp, you've basically wasted his whole entire rookie contract. You got to trade him. You need to trade Schroeder and Dorian Finney-Smith. Look at what happened. I mean, look at what you traded Royce O'Neal for. You were supposedly getting great offers the year before. Same thing with Bojan Bogdanovic. Look at what they got, and supposedly they're getting first round pick offers. Trade Dorian Finney-Smith. I would keep Ben Simmons at this point, unless you find a deal that you can dump his salary that benefits you. But at this point, I don't think trading him makes any sense, because by keeping him, you have a chance of him maybe returning to form and then you being able to re-sign him long-term really cheap on a deal similar like Jonathan Isaac, where you have it like constructed with certain verbiage to protect yourself from having to pay him the full amount of money. But look, let's go example for the Houston Rockets. If they are, you know what? We're actually going to sit here and talk about how could you turn this team into a decent team, the Nets, with Mikal Bridges. First off, what are we doing? We're calling up the Wizards, and we're saying, hey, Washington, we know you don't have many assets to do this rebuild the way you want to do it. So what we'll do is we'll send you Cam Thomas and Deron Sharp, two expiring guys on first round deals. But what we'll take off your hands, is this is where you either want to find, if you want to win right now, you either go out and you say, we'll take off your hands. All right, Marvin Bagley and several second-round picks, Rashawn Holmes and several second-round picks, or Landry Shamet and several second-round picks. Or you go, send us Johnny Davis and, let's say, Patrick Baldwin and a couple second-round picks, just so you guys have guys that are still one more year remaining. I personally think Johnny Davis is actually awful, but that is something that you could do in terms of trying to improve. I don't even know if Johnny Davis played anymore. He technically played more games with less minutes. I guess he was a bit better this year, but still not by much. All right, you traded two players there. Let's commit to Noah Clowney, Dariq Whitehead. So Dorian Finney-Smith. With Dorian Finney-Smith, I think one of the best things you could do is either call a team. I think if you call a team like Phoenix, I think Charlotte might be interested in helping you with Dorian Finney-Smith. And you're like, how so? Well, you would ask him for Vasilija Micic and Cody Martin, or Vasilija Micic and Nick Richards, which then you send Dorian Finney-Smith for Vasilija Micic and Nick Richards and 2 second-round picks. And now you have Cody Martin, Vasilija Micic. You got Pat. Well, the whole thing with I go back on this whole Pat Baldwin and Johnny Davis deal. I say let's go for Marvin Bagley in this deal. We do a Marvin Bagley, and or we sign and trade for Tyus Jones and we send the young guys in that deal. But it's nothing too crazy. What do you guys think? I just think like the if you keep like just double downing, we're just not going to be put in a position to like win at all, in my opinion, and that's just going to be the result of us just trying to build a team that I don't know how legit it can be, especially with the system that we're in. I mean, I know it's like nobody's fault, and it's more so a result of how everything's played out in terms of oh, you know, roster construction. It's just a lot harder than people want to imagine to build a team in the modern NBA. It's not really that easy. Like we want to act like it's like 2K, but it's not. There's a reason why there's video games, and there's a reason why people who are really smart have these jobs. So that's one thing I've learned since being in the industry.